Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we bring you a short visit to one of the most popular cities in all of Germany, capital of Bavaria, third largest city after Berlin, and Hamburg with 1 million inhabitants. This time we took a weekend trip to share our experiences and tips. For a 2-day visit to the beautiful city of Munich, its most important places, a few walking trips and destinations, some curious fact that we found that I am sure you will be interested if you are planning to visit the city soon. And without further ado, enjoy with us and let's do it. We arrive at noon. The trip by train from our home city Stuttgart Central Station lasts 2 hours, or by bus with the Flixbus company about 3 hours. The connection to Munich is somehow easy from everywhere in Germany. On this occasion we took the bus because the difference in time is not much and in ticket price it does make a lot of difference. The bus does not go exactly to the central station, but to the next station where you can quickly see the S-train line station to be able to connect with the center or with other areas of the city. The first step is to look for the indicated train ticket. Take into account that the price of trains in the city is relatively expensive comparing with the rest of Germany, in fact more expensive in the city of Stuttgart. So it is important to know which ticket to buy and be more efficient with your budget. In this case we were a group of 5 people and the group ticket of the day with unlimited trips has a cost of only 15. In case of individual purchase, each trip has a price around €3.50 per person, so the savings were quite significant. So the number one tip is to buy the ticket of the day. Finally, we arrived a little late to find our hotel, already a little tired, so we decided to rest and get ready because the next day would be long. The next day, about 10 o'clock in the morning we had breakfast and be ready for our trip. We stay close to this square, the popular Karlsplatz, one of the gates of the city center, located just 2 blocks from the central station. Our mission was to find the departure point of the tourist buses. Due to the short time we had in the city, we thought that using this service could be very helpful, and the idea was to rate the experience and the service to give our opinion about it in this video, and help you take the decision to take it or not. We managed to locate the buses quickly, on the other side of the street in front of Karlsplatz, and with the ticket in hand we started the You can buy the ticket online or you can buy it right in a small shop next to the first bus stop. And while we show you some of the images of the route, what do you think if we talk a little about this bus service in general? This tour is offered by 2 different companies. We will talk about the tour without comparing them because we only use one of the companies and it is very likely that both services are very similar. If you are thinking of taking it here, we bring you our most sincere criticism. These buses with the hop-on hop-off concept are in many cities. Basically the concept is that they go through the most important destinations and you can get on and off in each one of them, in addition to having the audio guide with the basic information. The truth is a practical way to have a base and guide to the city to visit, in addition to being suitable for those visitors who do not master the German language, do not have experience of riding urban trains in European cities, and also visitors who do not like or find it difficult to walk. So it is recommended depending on the type of visitor. In the first place, it is totally recommended if it is your first time in Munich and your budget is not tight and you are not looking to save. The service has a price of €30, which is worth it to a certain extent if it is your first time in the city and you don't know anything at all. This one in Munich are 2 different routes, and both routes have different prices. The short and cheapest route only runs around the perimeter of the city center, and the second route takes a longer route passing through the Nymphenburg Palace and Olympia Park, which are very good destinations and worth knowing. So if you decide to take the service, it is advisable to pay the full ticket. Now if you already have experience of riding trains within Europe, and it is not your first time in the city, this service may not be necessary, much more so if your budget is not very high. Remember that you will always need to buy the ticket of trains since this bus in this city does not replace the train service. And being honest, we have taken this service in other cities that have been better, more than anything because of the type of city it is. In any case you will have to walk through the center, and that is where the magic of the city is. The buses have a restricted and short schedule. They start at 10 AM and the last one is at 5 PM. We feel that the schedule is very short, much more so in summer when the days are longer. The buses leave every 30 minutes, so in some stops is a long time to wait. And the information in the adios is quite basic. You can buy the ticket online and validate it upon arrival, or simply buy it on the spot. We leave you a link in the description to our travel blog for more information. As you saw, the city is very nice, and it's time to get off and get to know our first destination. This is the impressive Palace of Nymphenburg, Baroque style on the outside. It was the residence of the kings of Bavaria. An impressive totally artificial water channel of more than 5 kilometers takes us to this wide lagoon that makes the perfect combination with the facade of the main entrance of the palace. The swans and ducks that swim in it put the icing on the cake. The same channel extends in its interior garden for 1 more kilometer. The place is incredible, taking care of each one of its details. The palace was commissioned by the couple Ferdinand Mary and Henriette of Savoy in 1664 after the birth of the son Maximilian II of Bavaria, with the idea of being only a country house, and the central pavilion was completed in 1675. In the following generations, the inheriting dukes were adding pavilions and expanding the palace in general for 3 generations. Already in the 1800s, when Bavaria was already a kingdom, it was the residence of several kings. In fact, they were born and died in the palace various kings such as King Maximilian, one in 1825, and his great-grandson Louis II, who was born in 1845. Nowadays the palace is open to the public, but in a part of the premises it is still the residence of the head of the House of Wittelby, Duke Franz of Bavaria. But as you can see, the place is extensive with an indescribable beauty. To enter the garden, the entrance is totally free, but if you want to enter its halls, the museum has a fee of €10 per person, where you can see the royal halls, the most popular being the Stone Hall, which is the main hall and which it occupies the 3 levels of the central pavilion, a work of art in every centimeter of construction. Many rooms still preserved with their original Baroque decoration and others later redecorated in Rococo or Neoclassical style. Another very popular room is the one that houses the Gallery of Beauties, a compilation of portraits of the 36 most beautiful women in Bavaria according to King Ludwig I. Another popular exhibition is that of the king's carriages and sleighs. And outside there is a garden park that has an area of approximately 800,000 square meters. In its beginnings it had an Italian style in 1671, but later taking on a French style. At the beginning of the 19th century, and as I mentioned, the artificial water channel that ends in the stone waterfalls of the Greek gods, though the quantity and quality of the sculptures that adorn the garden and its paths is impressive. Our second stop was at the Olympia Park, which is located in front of what was known as the world of BMW, the local car brand, Bayern Motors Wagon. This is a series of very modern buildings where you can visit the museum of the brand, and one of the largest automobile showrooms. It is said that the construction of the infrastructure was even more expensive than the State Alien Arena. But this time our visit was mostly to Olympia Park, another of the most popular places in the city. On this occasion we did not know that a festival was taking place, so the entrance was a bit restricted, although we were able to walk and see a large part of the park. The park that was built for the 1972 Olympic Games consists of an extension of land that includes event halls, artificial lagoons, the television tower where you can climb its revolving restaurant, the Munich Olympic Stadium, viewpoints, among other things. Its very unique and original design in its high ceilings was inspired by the mountains of the Alps, its peaks and transparent slopes like the mountains, the same ones that at some times of the year you can see from the highest points of the city. The park is a set of hills and roads, and the curious fact is that its mountainous topography is thanks to the fact that this area was where the remains of the rubble of the city were deposited when it was destroyed in the Second World War. Knowing this is much more impressive. First, because apart from being quite a few mountains, many of them have a very significant height, in addition to the fact that something so tragic in the city was reinvented to create a pleasant and special place for its residents. We walked among its trails and managed to climb to the highest point where there is a viewpoint where you can see on one side the best views of the park and the Olympic Stadium. The stadium that was for years the official headquarters of the local team Bayern Munich before to build the current Allianz Arena. And on the other side you can see the entire city. Having fulfilled the mission to bring you the images from the best panoramic points, we begin the descent to continue our journey. Traveling from the outskirts of the city, the end of the route returns to the center of the city. And it was at the height of the Arc de Triomphe, in the university area on the perimeter of the center, that we took advantage of to get off in search of our next destiny, that was the English Garden, in which it is the largest park in the city and which is located next to the center. The time was already short and the place is extremely large, so we had to hurry. We quickly found one of the most legendary beer gardens in the city and considered the largest in the world, exactly in the Chinese Tower of the park. A structure with a very beautiful oriental design in the middle of a large number of classic tables and benches. The German festival beer gardens, where you can buy your beer in half-liter glasses and up to a full liter, enjoy live music, in addition to social events. It is an experience that you must do, much more if you do not visit the city at the time of the Oktoberfest. Here at least you manage to have a very representative and traditional Bavarian experience. But as I had already told you, the place is big and time was short. We still had to go through the center, so following the current of the Rhine River channels that run through the park, we had the great curiosity of seeing the surfing point, extremely popular in the world of surfing, as it is said to be one of the oldest surf spots in the world with great international media exposure. And the truth is a curiosity that only lives here. It is remarkable that the locals have a whole routine. One by one on each side of the river they wait their turn in an orderly way to be able to slide for a few seconds, all with patience and having a great number of spectators and curious to their surroundings. And well, this bridge of the surfers is one block from another of the gates of the city center, so it was time to start our walk in the center. And among gardens, monuments, churches, statues and sculptures, facades, we enter the streets and alleys of the old walled city to locate ourselves a bit. We take as a reference the different gates of the old city, some larger than others, all with their brick or stone towers and roofs, and which are still preserved and are now landmarks and squares, usually with lots of life around. And in the middle of the city, possibly for many the most iconic square in the city, Marienplatz, the heart of Munich, its churches, and especially the new town hall building. A total architectural beauty with neo-Gothic design that impresses you immediately. Its details and decoration on its facade is indescribable. In the background, a block away, it is complemented by the two towers of the church. A very pleasant image and sensation to be able to appreciate it, with cafes and shops to be a very touristy environment. The building was built between 1867 and 1908, being an example of the splendor of Germany at the beginning of the 19th century. Its facade is around 100 meters wide, by 85 meters high at the highest point, that is its tower, and in total the building has 9,000 square meters of surface, to which you can go up paying a fee, and in its interior patio, you can visit and enjoy a beer garden and coffee shop. One of its attractions is also being able to appreciate the largest carousel in the world, which twice a day, when the clock strikes 11 in the morning and the other at 5 in the afternoon, turns on automatically for the spectators. The carousel commemorates the wedding of the King of Bavaria, with its circus jesters and knights around the king and queen who come out to greet the music. In the middle of the square it is difficult not to miss the fountain with a pillar or column, in which the Virgin Mary stands at the top of it among warrior angels at her feet. Marienplatz is also a train station on the UNS line. That it is a very important train station and interchange point, so it will certainly be very easy to find you. In addition to the surrounding streets are very popular for a large number of boutiques, shops, restaurants, legendary breweries, much to know. Without a doubt one of the favorite cities of all tourists who visit Germany. For now, with the images I say goodbye, thanking you for your support, and as always invite you, if you are interested in Germany, live or plan to live in Germany, in the state of Baden-Württemberg or the city of Stuttgart, visit our travel blog and subscribe to our channel. We will bring videos of different destinations and activities later. Once again, thank you very much for your visit, and see you soon in our next video with a new destination. Until next time.